Welcome to the third of our training tapes here in the Long Beach unit. We appreciate the time you've taken to watch these helpful videos in order to meet the goal of improved umpiring at the Federation level. Our topic deals with the forced play slide rule and the various categories in the high school rulebook. This rule is vital for our success in ensuring player safety, and I would like for us to pay attention to the mechanics in properly administering these plays. Without further ado, let's get into the plays. A runner is not required to slide, but if he chooses to do so, he must do it legally. He is required to have one leg and one buttock on the ground. A runner may also slide or run in a direction away from the fielder in order to avoid making contact or altering the play. There are various types of illegal slides we will show, and they have specific categories that we must use when describing them to a coach. The following situations are categories of illegal slides. It is critical that we use one of these categories when calling a player out for the forced play slide rule. The consequences are huge as both the runner and batter runner are called out. This first play is an example of when a player executes a legal slide initially, but ultimately decides to execute a pop-up slide into the fielder. A key note to consider is the mechanics of the base umpire in this situation. We expect this umpire to get onto the first base side of the working area to see the direction of this slide and stay on this slide once the runner begins his pop-up. A cross-body slide is when a player's leg and buttock are unable to maintain contact with the ground and his momentum turns him over to another side of his body as shown here. A good indicator of this happening is when this slide occurs later than a conventional feet-first slide would have. We want runners to slide earlier rather than later and stay on the ground whenever possible. Situations that involve contact beyond the base, altering throws, are some of the most common occurrences in high school baseball. Many young athletes watch slides like this and try to emulate these plays. We talked about an indicator of a late slide as this player's momentum goes clearly beyond the bag. Now, when we talk about indicators, we're not saying this is a rule, but a guideline that can help you make a decision. These types of slides have no place in the game and need to be called. When in question, it is a violation. This slide here is an example of a striking motion known as slashing. You will see the runner intentionally slash the catcher in order to disrupt play. The location of the contact is not a factor if slashing is involved. If the defender is struck anywhere on his leg, a violation may be called for slashing. You will also see the runner deviate from his initial position to create contact, which is another indicator of intent on this runner's behalf. The most serious of offenses regarding illegal slides is when a base runner deliberately makes an attempt to injure a fielder. We talked about a guideline of deviating from his initial position, and this is clearly present here, and we see the runner commit actions that may rise to the level of flagrant. These types of plays have no place in the game and could be judged as malicious contact. The player has gone out of his way to endanger the fielder, and if judged as malicious, then the player would be ejected in addition to the penalties associated with the forced play slide rule. A common thing heard about sliding is that the runner can be an arm's length from the base, when in reality that is not true. Sliding directly into the base is pretty specific and must be satisfied. The result of the return throw is irrelevant when classifying slides in this category. Being on the first base side of the working area is the best place to see the direction of the slide, regardless of the number of runners on base. Umpires must make an effort to get into this area when a double play is about to occur. We talked earlier about the runner not having an obligation to slide. However, he must run in a direction away from the fielder in order to avoid altering the play. That player must clearly peel away and give himself up if he chooses not to slide. Merely ducking, as in this case, is not a legitimate means of avoiding alteration of the play. Let's remember we also have jobs on the field in enforcing this. The plate umpire does a good job putting the runner from third back to where he was at the time of the interference, and the base umpire does a good job getting this play. Our last play deals with contact occurring above the knee. This play here is a much more extreme example of this rule, but any contact with a raised leg above the knee is a violation. The idea is to discourage these kinds of slides, and we want runners to keep their feet down as much as possible. We appreciate you tuning in, and we hope that you visit our website, www.strongbeachumpiring.com, for more training videos, you make the calls, bulletins, and much more.